Hey guys, how are you? Chris Caserta from Burgundy Coins and Collectibles. Thanks for checking out the latest edition of Burgundy TV. We're in the middle of the 2018 FIFA World Cup right now. It's been an awesome tournament, lots of excitement, and obviously you can't talk about soccer or the World Cup without talking about the one and only Pele. No disrespect to the other greats in the game, the Messis, the Maradonas, the Ronaldos, but Pele deserves the title, the greatest of all time. He was the first to ever do it. He put the game on the map, brought it to the United States, and we will always say that Pele is the greatest soccer player of all time. At Burgundy's, we primarily deal with vintage baseball memorabilia, so it's very easy for us to compare Pele to Babe Ruth. We always say that Pele is the Babe Ruth of soccer, being the first guy to do it and really popularize the game. So let's get right into it. FIFA World Cup, right here on my right, we have a game-used Brazil jersey worn by Pele in late 1970, early 71. If you get in a little closer here, we'll go right through it. Above the crest, you'll see the 3 stars. Pele's the only player in history to win 3 World Cup titles. He won in 58, 62, and 70. So this is right after that 70 World Cup. You could tell by the 3 stars that indicate each title. Over here in the middle, in dark Sharpie, you'll see he signed his full name, first name, and Pele, Edson Pele. Right above it, it might be a little bit difficult to see, but he actually also signed it same way, Edson Pele, and that's a vintage signature in ballpoint ink. And one of the ways that we're able to tell that, this was signed during the period. Back in the day, in the 70s, they didn't have Sharpie markers for these guys to sign, so they would use ballpoint pen. Later on, a few years ago, we actually had Pele sign this again in the black Sharpie, to make it pop. And if you see down here, we have a picture of Pele signing it at his New York City apartment. When we brought it to him, you could just tell by the look on his face, it really brought back memories. He was very happy to talk about it, and it was just a really cool moment to see and, have him sign again and be with the jersey again. Right up here in the collar, I'm going to pull it up. You always look for this. You have the Athleta manufacturing tag. They did all the Brazilian jerseys back then, so another way that we know it's legit. Just going to put that back down and turn the jersey around, and you'll see the iconic number 10. All the greats wear it. Pele was the first guy to do it, and it's become a trend in international soccer. If I turn it back around and you zoom out a little bit, obviously the use is there. You'll see the grass stains, the dirt stains. We always want to know, and we always wonder how many goals Pele would have scored with this, hoping it was a lot. Back in the day, they didn't get as many jerseys as the guys do today. It's one jersey maybe, per week, per month, whatever it is. Now guys can change at halftime, they could change mid-game. So obviously a rare exclusive item. Something like this, values based on auction records, somewhere between the $20,000 and $30,000 range. Great piece, perfect for the World Cup. Now on my left, we have another game-used jersey. Santos Football Club, Pele's club in Brazil. Now, when you think about it, you always want Brazil, you want the international jersey. Serious collectors, however, they recognize this Santos jersey as being a little bit more collectible. Going back to the whole Babe Ruth comparison, people always want Babe Ruth on the Yankees. However, if you get a piece of Babe Ruth with the Boston Red Sox, it's always worth a little bit more because it's a little bit more scarce. This jersey's older than the Brazil jersey, dates back to 64 to 68. You could tell, again, with the stars above the crest, 2 stars. Santos won championships in 62 and 63 back-to-back, so the 2 stars indicate those 2 titles. And then afterwards, this jersey was worn by Pele from the 64 to 68 period. Again, I'm going to pull up the collar. You'll see the Athleta tag. Again, it's real. They're the manufacturers. Pull it up a little bit more so you could get it. Just going to put that back down. And once again, I'm going to turn it around to show the iconic number 10. You'll also notice that Pele actually signed in between the 2 numbers, very small vintage style signature between the numbers. Again, ballpoint ink, typical of the period. They weren't signing in Sharpies. Turn it back around. You see we have the picture here with the Sharpie signature. We had Pele. Again, he saw it a few years ago, brought back the memories, signed it a little bit more bold. That way it pops and, it's more aesthetic to the collectors. So again, 2 great game-used jerseys. Now, when you're buying game-used jerseys, you always want to have the right paperwork, the right provenance, the right authentication. Both of these jerseys are authenticated by mirrors. We trust them the best, so to the serious collectors, you always want them signing off on game used pieces. You also, in addition to that, you want to make sure that you're getting it from the right sources. We've seen auction records of some Pele jerseys going for closer to the $5,000 range. Now, when you see these cheaper versions, there's different things going on. Maybe that the jersey was restored, it was enhanced a little bit, there was a rip and they had it sewn together. You always want a completely original, untouched, the way it was used by the player back in the day. Other things that you'll notice is in soccer, no numbers are retired. So if Pele wasn't playing one day and Brazil had a friendly match, perhaps somebody was wearing the number 10. So it's very possible that someone could obtain that number 10 jersey and later on have Pele sign it. So there's always different things, that affect the value. You got to make sure that you're getting it from the right sources, and you have to make sure that you have the proper authentication. On these two pieces, as I mentioned, we do have the mirrors authentication. The signatures are authenticated by PSA, and we also have letters from where we got them from. The jersey on my left, the Santos jersey, we acquired it from somebody whose father would do international tours with the top clubs in the world, top soccer clubs. Manchester United, Juventus, AC Milan. He would do tours with them and promotions with them, and he was able to obtain this jersey, and that's where we acquired this one. As for the Brazil jersey, this was obtained from a man who also did promotional tours in Brazil and did a lot of marketing for, it was a coffee company, and he did a lot of work with Pele with this company as a spokesperson, and he was able to get the jersey, and we were able to obtain it from him. So obviously great pieces, very timely for the World Cup. These are what we like to call investment grade pieces, especially, for soccer. This is the best of the best. Pele, the greatest of all time. Now, you don't always have to break the bank when you're trying to buy Pele memorabilia or soccer memorabilia, whatever the case may be. Obviously, in front of me, you see a few more pieces, and on the back wall, you got them. So if you get in closer here, you could buy soccer balls, for a couple of $100s. We also have this vintage 18 panel style ball, which is typical of the 50s and 60s era. This is the type of ball we were using. I mentioned before that Pele is the only player in the history of soccer to win 3 World Cups. This is a replica jersey, not game used, obviously much more affordable than the 2 game used jerseys you saw before, and very cool how Pele inscribed it with the 3-time World Cup champ. Next to him, I mentioned one of the other greatest players of all time, Cristiano Ronaldo. Here is a replica Real Madrid jersey signed by him on the back number. We always have these guys in stock. Unfortunately, right now we have no Messi or Maradona. But when it comes to soccer here at Burgandy's, we always have something in stock, whether it's Pele, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, and Diego Maradona. If you get in closer right here, I have a ticket. This is a cool item from Pele's final game with the New York Cosmos. Interesting fun fact about that game is what they did is they had the Cosmos play against his former team, Santos FC, and they had Pele play a half for each team. So it was an awesome day for the fans at Giant Stadium. Pele played one half for Santos, one half for the Cosmos as a nice send-off for the greatest of all time. Behind me, I have a picture, if you noticed it before, that's Pele hugging Muhammad Ali. That was taken at that final game at Giant Stadium. They had Muhammad Ali come there, congratulate him, 2 of the greatest of all time. So just an awesome piece, one of our favorites that we always have. Right below that, just real quick, you get the iconic Pele bicycle kick that he did with Brazil. Seems today that every guy on the field can do that. Little kids are always practicing this type of move. But when this was done, in the day, in the 50s and 60s, he was the only guy that not only could do it, but he was the only guy attempting it. He really changed the game. We always love getting in Pele pieces and talking about him as the greatest of all time. It's perfect right now for the World Cup, especially with Brazil, doing pretty strong. So again, we always have high-grade investment pieces like this, or if you're looking for a gift or something a little bit more affordable, we have some of these pieces. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, email, call us, share the link for the video below, and please comment and let us know what you guys think. Thank you very much for tuning in. Again, I'm Chris Caserta, Burgandy Coins and Collectibles. Thanks.